Thank you for joining us with the Alliance House Community Talk Show. We are an organization that's geared to help our military veterans who are suffering from severe brain injuries, PTSD, suicidal thoughts, and a myriad of things that are plaguing our military today. Our veterans, we owe them. We owe them because they have served this country tirelessly with their efforts with going into combat, harm's way, and putting their life on the line for us. The Alliance House is a local nonprofit organization that was birthed from a need to help, birthed from a need to provide solutions. We don't believe that there's any such thing as a problem. We believe that there are opportunities for a resolution. And that's what the Alliance House is. That's what we stand for. And that's what we're moving forward to ensure that this happens in our community here. So we're going to come back to you later with Mr. John Surmont. Before we do that, we have a short video clip to explain to you who Mr. John Surmont is. Thank you so much.
Just in, the search for a missing local Navy SEAL is over. Somebody contacted San Diego police saying Jonathan Surmont was with him in LA. And police have verified that information, but they've not released any other details. Surmont was reported missing on September 3rd. His ex-wife was the last person to hear from him. And he told her on August 31st that he was, quote, in a rough place. His car was found 3 days later in La Jolla.
Mr. John Surmont, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
It's good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. No
Pleasure
problem.
to be here.
We saw the video clip that you were found in LA. Share with us how that has transitioned or being reacclimated to the family. How's that going with you now?
It's going quite well. We spent, so I was bailed out of jail in October. My children live out of state. And there was about an 8-month period of time, believe it or not, between the time where I actually had a chance to see my children and be reunited with them and when this happened. And this summer has been a very important period of time for us in the healing and restoration of our relationship. There were difficulties that my children experienced that, along with my own, that were not understood. My children's experiences were not understood. And that brings a point up of the children of veterans. It's a different life experience to be the child of a veteran. And my children have a very unique perspective, and frankly this summer has been eye-opening for me because of the things that I've learned about myself through their eyes. And from recovering from trauma, as I have experienced, part of that healing process is to reconnect with yourself. And what more important way for a veteran to reconnect with themselves than to reconnect with their family?
Exactly.
It's been incredibly healing.
And quite often, I think society has a tendency to overlook the families. I mean, there are a lot of organizations, outfits out there who are catering to the veteran, i.e. you, but there's a misconnection. There's a misconnection to the family, and they usually get put on the back burner.
So let me share. So there are many progressive-minded folks out there and Americans out there, and a lot of good work that's being done, good stewards of the money that they're receiving for their charities or their endowments, as well as even within the government itself. There are always, as I have learned and come to know and come to experience, there's always those that fall through the cracks. And I think what really is empowering about your message with the Alliance House is that no one falls through the cracks. And that's critically important. Children of veterans have a doubly difficult experience in life. They learn to navigate and make sense of their own growing up process, but they're also aware of burdens that their parents may have, that they may speak about, may not speak about, or they may have been informed by others about some perspective of difficulty that their parents may be dealing with. What I found with my children is there are many programs that are tailored to creating great experiences.
Okay.
Right? Going and doing great things and whitewater rafting or go to Disneyland or have these experiences. And we in the West are so keyed to act that the idea of reflection doesn't even seem like something worth raising money to do. my children and I didn't need to go do and have gold star kind of, world-class kind of life experiences. It's been very simple, but it's been incredibly constructive and therapeutic in the staying low to the ground and focusing on having grounded communication styles and focusing on what really matters. And what really matters is life, love, and light. And
to add to what you said, with the Alliance House, it's our core belief that as we say, you being a veteran, Navy SEAL, and me being a former Marine, we say, no man left behind, no one left on the battlefield. And so the Alliance House has that same concept, that same principle, because we don't want anyone left behind, and that's inclusive of the family, the loved ones, the girlfriends, whoever they are important because they are important to your healing process.
Absolutely.
And I want you to share with us, you brought a picture with you, and can you tell us who drew this?
Well, yeah, thank you. I'm proud to show this. This is a painting by my daughter. Her name is Kaylee. And Kaylee painted this for me. I simply said, Kaylee, would you give me a gift before you leave this summer? I'd like for you to paint. Okay. And she did.
And how old is Kaylee?
She's 16 this month.
Okay, okay.
What's important here to point out is, as I looked at this, I was stunned. She dismissed it as something that was just something she threw together.
Okay.
But as I looked at it, I recognized that she and I had been communicating all summer and talking about my life experiences, I believe that she manifests her understandings of what I was describing in an art form, and I think it's beautiful. I gave this a name. I call this Thriving in Chaos.
Thriving in Chaos.
Because what I see here is a gorgeous depiction of an arrangement with a vase and then surrounding environmental elements. Okay. But what she's done is she's been very precise and delicate in the actual arrangement itself, and then has provided some impressionism, right, and some other interesting ways that she's manipulated and used colors, which I think actually may kind of be able to depict a little bit of what life was like for me, or what life is like for all of us who are working and struggling to thrive in chaos.
Right. And that's important, because we talked earlier about being vulnerable and saying that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be exposed.
Right. Well, what we talk about vulnerability, Troy. Vulnerability is something that even if you ignore it, it doesn't go away.
That's correct.
There's so many people that just, the not in my backyard scenario. As a homeless person last year, I experienced what it is to be treated and seen as subhuman and invisible. And it left such a lasting effect on me to understand that we must find ways to break through whatever barriers that are preventing us from truly connecting with each other. And intellectual honesty, I think, is the first step.
And one thing that we would like to do, we want to meet your girlfriend, Becky, correct?
Yes.
And your family.
Sure.
We want to meet them, want to have an opportunity for the world to meet them. We want to hear their story, hear what's going on, hear how they are doing this new adjustment with you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching. For our next segment, I'll have my co-host, Miss Tammy Booth, and we're going to meet the family. We're going to meet the girlfriend and the kids, and we're going to get an insight to who John was, who he's become. Is that a correct statement?
Sure. Yes, of course. Why not?
All right.
Thank you.
We look forward to meeting the family later.
Thank you.
Stay tuned.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out.
Good night. And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
The search continues today for missing SEAL veteran John Surmont. According to family and friends, he hasn't been seen or heard from in a couple of weeks. NBC7's Bridget Nasa, who covers the military, typically the public wouldn't worry about a highly trained operator being able to care for himself, but this situation may be different, right?
It may be, Mark. Now, the latest lead is that San Diego police are checking out a possible sighting of Navy SEAL veteran John Surmont at San Diego VA Medical Center. And the VA confirmed to me they are cooperating with STPD on this case. But his family and friends are hoping he is found soon and safe. San Diego police confirmed to NBC7 they are investigating a possible lead that Navy SEAL veteran John Surmont may have been seen around September 8th at the San Diego VA Medical Center, and they're working to determine if he's on any surveillance footage. Surmont was last seen by his girlfriend on August 27th, and after days of no contact, she reported him missing. She told NBC7 he suffers from mental health issues, and while she spoke with us, she did not want to show her face on camera.
I'm so overwhelmed. It's hard to know. It's like shifting from sad to mad to frustrated to sad again.
His girlfriend told us a couple of days later he made contact with his ex-wife. There's no confirmation as to where exactly that call came from. I spoke with a number of people who know Surmont, some of whom served with him. They confirmed the SEAL veteran community is conducting private searches at some of his favorite spots, including local beaches, and they're asking for the public's help to keep an eye out for him. NBC7 also confirmed with police Surmont's wallet was found by a passerby in the 1100 block of Coast Boulevard near the La Jolla Cove, and his truck was impounded on September 3rd on Girard Avenue in La Jolla for being at a location for more than 72 hours. Meantime, his family and friends are hoping he will turn up safe and soon.
I know that he was Navy SEAL and he has a lot of skills and training, but it's been a really long time, and there's a lot of very well-trained individuals out there looking for him, and they're not uncovering anything, and that's very worrisome.
Wow, what a video. I'm Tammy Booth, and I have the honor and privilege to introduce to you Becky McGinnis, a psychotherapist, and these beautiful children that John has been talking about. So if you would, I'm going to have the kids introduce themselves one at a time.
I'm Kaylee Surmont, and I'm 16 in a few days.
Okay.
I'm Luke Surmont, and I'm 13.
I'm Toby Surmont, and I'm turning 12 in November.
Wow, welcome, welcome, welcome. Becky, what a tumultuous time that was for you. Can you share with us a little bit of what was going on for you then?
So much was happening, but to kind of find some place to start, last summer when the kids were out visiting their dad, I was around as well. John and I had really just been dating for a few months. Things were getting a little more serious, but we were still kind of dating and courtship and all. And I noticed initially that his behavior seemed eccentric, and it kind of started to it started at a higher level and sort of increased incrementally from that point on, but at a pace that made it kind of difficult to track. So initially I would have called it just eccentric, maybe a little more boisterous, a little louder, a little more detail in talking, and so not so strange, but a little bit different. And then the kids, as the summer went on, we noticed a little bit more behavior that was more out of the eccentric, ordinary realm. Possibly might include rituals, very religious rituals, just kind of doing things that was obvious it meant something really important to him, but none of us were clued in on what that might mean. And so it continued to escalate like that, getting to a point where I remember one time Kaylee and I, we passed in the hallway of the house, and she put her hand to her forehead and she's like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. And she had tears in her eyes. And then the next day that happened again, and I saw the boys sometimes would have tears in their eyes after, you know, witnessing the rituals, because it got to this place where it was just so frustrating. We couldn't figure it out. And we could tell that John was less and less reachable. How I always described it is that he had one foot in his own world that we were not privy to, and another foot absolutely in reality. And strangely, he could kind of toggle between both places. So for me as a psychotherapist, I'm trying to figure out what's going on to help him, help me, help the kids. And it was really challenging to figure it out. But anyway, it got to this place where it just was too much. Something had to happen. And the kids, I asked John if it was okay if I talked to the kids separately, and he said it was okay, so we did. And I was just like, hey, what's going on? Y'all seem really stressed. And we all concurred of like, it's a really stressful place to be. We don't understand this behavior. We don't know what's going on, but something has to happen. So we brought John back in. We all described to him how we were feeling and what we saw, and shared with him our concerns. So myself as a therapist, I'm the girlfriend in this situation, but I had to also tap into the clinical aspect, and because I'm trying to help here. And I didn't feel comfortable saying let's 5150 you or whatever, so I said, John, why don't you call your therapist and let's see what she says. And ironically, I mean, it was just amazing, she answered the phone. As a therapist, I can say almost never do I answer the phone in the middle of the day at 3:30, but she did, thank God. And we explained to her what was going on, and I said, hey, what should I do? And she said, you know, go to 2 North. let's go there and see what happens. So John agreed, and we entered that journey, which was a whole thing in and of itself. So I wanted to drive the truck. I'm not comfortable driving trucks, but I also wasn't comfortable with him driving either. So we got into the truck, but he insisted on driving. So I was like, okay. So I sat in the passenger side, and I thought, well, you know, all this time, as much as the behavior is seeming more and more erratic, he still could drive pretty well. So I was like, okay, maybe this will be okay. So we get in the car. I'm in the passenger side. I know Kaylee's in the middle. The boys are on either side. And things started getting a little bit scary because he would shift in and out of lanes really quickly, go fast, go slow, be really like inconsistent. And so I got really scared. So I had my phone kind of down here by the side, 911 ready to go. And I was giving it a little bit more time because what the heck, well, how am I going to do that? Call 911 while we're in a truck and he's driving, and oh my God, I don't want to make this thing even more crazy. And then Kaylee shared her concern. She said, Dad, why are you keep following that orange car? I think it was orange, right?
It was an orange car, and we were on the freeway, and he ended up going completely opposite direction of where we needed to go, and on like a road to like a house, like a normal street, not
the highway.
Yeah.
So when I noticed that he's going off course here, I said, you've got to get back on the road. No, I'm just going to go this way. I was like, okay, that's a long way, but I'm going to watch like how far out of the way you're going to go. We got to this place and I said, all right, great, the highway, take a right. And he did take a right, thank God, got back on, but my hand was down here the whole time. I had no idea how we were going to get there, if we were going to get there safe, but we did. And then we arrived at 2 North, and he just hopped out and walked away, and like, okay, hopefully go into the hospital. And I had to find parking, and that was a whole event. And then we finally get into the VA, which was probably 30 minutes later based on the parking situation there. And we finally get in, and he still just meets us at the elevator. So he was blessing people along the way, and
he kissed a woman's forehead.
So we get on the elevator, we get up to 2 North, we get there, and that's kind of where the summer took us up to that point. And he was admitted at that point.
From then until now, what have you experienced changes in John? And of course, in the family dynamic, we've heard earlier that things are a lot better. And I think I see with all the expressions on your faces that there's much little stress, if any. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, in the summertime, something that I was doing to try to help figure out what was going on is I would see John's behavior and I'd go in the back room and I'd open up the DSM and I'm like, okay, yes, meets criteria, doesn't meet criteria, shoot, what am I gonna do? And then I'd go back and I would check and nothing matched. And yet it seemed so similar to many other diagnoses. But now coming at this end of it, we know that it was definitely TMS related, or at least we're pretty sure it was TMS related. There's been no symptoms from that point on. And in fact, I would say John seems more grounded than ever, probably, going through so much and processing through it and really understanding more about himself.
There was a lot of speculation about what was going on with John
right.
by all the medical professions. So it wasn't any one person, but it sounds like there has been true breakthrough.
For sure, yeah.
And a lot more peace with the family to come together and to be able to share amazing experiences as you have this summer. And how are the puppies? We saw them in the first show. Are they doing well?
Yeah, doing good.
Excellent.
Coco.
Excellent. We're honored to take a moment and give a thank you to John's children. And we have here for Miss Kaylee this backpack. We wanted to thank you because all of the things that you've endured, all the things that you've gone through, all of you children have gone through so much. Thank you. We're going to let you select which one you want. It's hard to imagine what it's like to be able to be on this side of a journey that was tough. We hope that this will help you for the start of the school year, because as you can guess, they might be something to do with school. And with the creativeness that you have, don't ever let anyone hold you back, because you guys are great.
Thank you.
And then for Miss Becky, we have these beautiful flowers to say thank you and to honor you for the work that you've done for John and for the children. You helped him on a journey that many would have walked away from not knowing what to do. So we're honored to bring you here and have you share your story.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Thank you. Troy is going to join us in a moment to tell us a little more about what we can look forward to.
150 over 90.
180 over 111.
160 over 110. I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from invisible or silent. If you've come off your treatment plan, get back on it or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
Use motor oil or cocktail of toxins. Dispose carefully, you got lots of options. Never the trash, the drain, or the ground. That's insane and it ain't safe and sound. Oceanside is a zero-waste city. Oceanside is a zero-waste city. Oceanside is a zero-waste city. Oceanside is a zero-waste city.
Recycle used oil and filters at certified collection points in Oceanside. For locations, see greenoceanside.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Hello, thank you for coming back, watching the Alliance House Community Talk Show. As we stated before, the Alliance House is a community organization that's community supported, and this organization is for our military veterans who have served this country tirelessly. There's a slogan that they say, all gave some and some gave all. You know, our military veterans are committing suicide, suffering from severe brain injury, suffering from PTSD. And we, as the Alliance House, we believe that we can reduce those numbers that are staggering. We can reduce those numbers when we come together. It's not an if we come together, it's a when we come together. And there are numerous campaigns that we can do. This is an opportunity for you as the public to join in and help us with this campaign, help us raise funds, help us raise awareness. Because once we raise awareness, we can limit those suffering from PTSD and suicide. One of our campaigns that we have, we have a campaign that's called From Purse to Person. And we have Ms. Sue Krull who will share more information about that and how you can participate. Ms. Sue Krull.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. So share with us, what does that mean, from purse to person?
Well, we're not always asking for cash.
Okay.
But almost every female has in their possession a purse that is worth about $150, if not more.
Okay.
And what we are asking, begging, challenging, to go through your closet and pick out a purse and donate it. Yes, it must be worth $150. And we all have them. In fact, this purse right here is one that I donated.
Okay.
And my 97-year-old mom is going through her purses to donate. This is a wonderful opportunity to clean your closets and do something with that bag other than let it get dusty.
So once the bags come in, how will they be assessed? How will you raise money from those bags that are coming in?
Well,
what's the process?
I'm the assessor.
Okay.
And then I'll keep no. They're wonderful bags, so I will find out the worth of them.
Okay.
But we're only selling them, most of them, for $150. I'm not saying if you donate a $300 bag, we can't sell it for $150, but we will sell it for that $300.
Okay.
Every penny counts to help our vets. So this is a great way. I know a lot of women that have 3, 4, 5 of these bags, never wear them. Well, now you can do something with them and donate and help our men, our women, our children. You know, we don't think of vets other than males. And that's just not true. There are brothers, our sisters,
right,
our aunts, our uncles, our mothers. And so now you can do something and really help some people that need your help.
Ms. Sue Krull, thank you so much. World, it's another innovative way that the Alliance House is bringing to you innovative, creative ways.
I forgot one more thing.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
If you don't have the bag,
okay,
and you still want to help, why don't you write us a check for $150? We can use it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from Ms. Sue Krull. Gave you some ideas, suggestions as far as how you can support this amazing organization, continue to thrive, continue to help our military veterans, just by going into your closet. Who would have thought? I mean, creative, innovative. I love it.
And so worthy.
And so worthy for a worthy cause. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Once again, I'll continue watching the Alliance House Community Talk Show. There's more to come.